So moved.
Supervisor Beatty, second by
Second.
Supervisor Simpson.
My neighbor.
Wayne, do you want to jump into this?
Sure.
Do you have a gavel? Do you have a gavel by any chance?
All right, we have a number of items before the committee this morning. Most of them are housekeeping. The first, there are a number of resolutions for transfers. These are for the matching funds for the grant awards, and this is for the fourth quarter, the fourth quarter of 2018. So, I need to make sure that these are 2018 funds we're transferring and not 2019. So there's a series of resolutions. They can all be, in my opinion, acted upon at once. So
Get a motion to act upon all of those all at once. Supervisor Wild, seconded by Supervisor Simpson. All those in favor?
The second is a resolution to enter an agreement with the Park Commission and Lake George Association. This is in response to a grant award for the county, so in order to be able to use their resources and their expenditures as part of the program and to reimburse them where necessary, we need a memorandum of understanding agreement with them.
Any discussion on the issue? Get a motion to Supervisor Beatty?
Discussion?
Go ahead, yes, go ahead.
Is that the one with the Decker?
No. This is a new grant award. We wrote it. Chris wrote it. That's nothing to do with any of that earlier transactions.
This is entirely separate.
It's a grant award to Warren County. Correct. Separate from anything else that's happened.
Any further questions, comments? Supervisor Leggett, seconded by Supervisor Beatty.
And detail of this one? It's included in this?
Chris, you want to talk about what the county was awarded $600,000
Yeah.
for various projects, so.
Right, the project includes some admin, and $540,000 in milfoil eradication dollars, which is going to be matched by 2 years of our contributions towards the boat washing program.
So we utilize an existing county expenditure that is matched to free up another $600,000 of grant funds.
Okay.
Good move.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The next is to establish the capital fund for that grant award. Again, $600,000.
Move it.
Seconded by Supervisor Beatty. Any discussion?
$800,000. Yeah.
All those in favor?
Sarah, you want to talk about the next one?
This is just a housekeeping. We had annual maintenance fee for software was in the wrong code, so we're just moving it from contract to software maintenance.
Right, we have to amend the original authorizing resolution. That's why it's coming not as a transfer, but because the resolution that said it was coming out of contracts instead of license.
Motion made by Supervisor Simpson, seconded by Supervisor Wild. All those in favor?
Sarah, you want to do the next one?
Okay, the next one is we have an annual contract with Adirondack Glenn Transportation Council to provide GIS services to them. They don't have a GIS person on staff, so they contract with us at an hourly rate. Last year, we billed them about $3,500, so we have a contract not to exceed $15,000 per year, so it's just reauthorizing that contract from last year for this
We have a
year.
motion by Supervisor Simpson, seconded by Supervisor Beatty.
And,
Any discussion?
yeah, this fully covers the cost of GIS?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, our
Your
workload with AGFTC, yes.
Okay.
We bill back at 100% rate.
Okay.
Any further discussion? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
All right, the next one is, this is to rectify some things that didn't happen during the budget process. I would like to reclassify the GIS coordinator position to a GIS administrator. There is a pay raise associated with that. There was no adjustment during the budget process for the GIS coordinator. There was no yearly adjustment, and that was all, it just happened. So I think when we look at the history of the GIS program, Sarah was originally hired as a GIS administrator. In the late 2000s, when the economic issues hit, Sherry Norton was the GIS administrator, and that position was downgraded to GIS coordinator and became part-time. Now that we've elevated it back to a full-time, and given the workload, I feel this is just compensation, and the title is consistent with the operation. When you look at the statewide averages and the national averages, this falls right about midline with the salary averages that go anywhere from $77,000 to $84,000. So,
Any discussion? Supervisor Wild?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Wayne, what are the surrounding counties' salary structure for these?
Sarah, do you have any?
I don't know off the top of my head what the surrounding county's salaries are. I do know there's a 3 or 4 year salary survey that's done nationwide. It's primarily local government and state government responses. There was one just done over the course of this past year and released, I believe, in late 2017, and the average definitely, as Wayne stated, for this title and experience level, this is about mid-level with that, and I believe New York is probably in line with the national average or above the national average.
Thanks, Sarah. Don't get me wrong. I think you've done some great things. Mr. Chairman, will this go to personnel? And the reason why I ask is because a couple of days ago we had a discussion about the district attorney's office and their salary. And I'm wondering how many of our staff across the board in Warren County are going to be coming up to us and saying, well, we need some more money because we need to hit this average rate or whatever. And, it's a good budget year.
Would you like it to go to personnel?
I would like it to go to
Okay,
personnel.
well, why don't we send it over to personnel to take a look at it? Okay?
Definitely.
Great. All those in favor? Or do we have a motion to approve Supervisor Hogan, seconded by Supervisor McGowan? All those in favor? Supervisor Leggett?
At personnel will vet it out then, is that correct?
Yes.
This is basically just the referral.
Yes,
to get it
and hopefully
into there.
address all of the issues and concerns that Michael has. Yes.
We're voting just to move it to personnel.
Yes. Why don't we move it along?
I'll make a
those-
motion to move this to personnel.
Okay. We have a second by Supervisor McGowan. So we're not approving this today. We're basically shuffling it to personnel for an approval. Okay. So all those in favor?
Aye.
That's good. That's fine. Yeah. Good.
All right, the next is a resolution to authorize a public hearing. The county was awarded funding to undertake an engineering structural assessment of Countryside Adult Home. That grant award requires 2 public hearings. One was held in December. We now need to comply with the grant requirements and hold the second one at the next board meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Supervisor Strauss, seconded by Supervisor Simpson. Any discussion? Although,
I just want to say, I think it's a terrific thing that we're doing here. I think to have a full capital improvement plan for Countryside is really needed right now for our future grant requests and budget. So I applaud the
great. Thank you for your comments. All those in favor?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Supervisor.
I'm sorry. I look at this, and on the back page,
That's a different resolution.
it's a different resolution?
Yes.
I'm
We're
sorry.
we're just after the public hearing.
Okay.
All those in favor?
All right.
Next item.
Okay, the next is a resolution to enter an agreement, contract with Beardsley Design. The county released an RFP. We had 2 responses. The last page of this is the bid tab sheet. The lowest response had no experience with a healthcare facility, had only done large-scale housing projects, and really did not have the design capability, the staff capability to do what we needed here, to fulfill the terms of the grant contract. I've discussed this with Julie in purchasing. She reviewed that and is in agreement that, in the RFP process, we do not have to go with the lowest. And the grant fully covers going with Beardsley, and we feel they are just the most qualified based upon the submittal of information and follow-up discussions we've had with them.
Okay. Motion by Supervisor Wild, second by Supervisor Simpson. Any discussion? Yes, Claudia.
What were the other quotes? I'm sorry.
Oh, there was one for, the Beardsley was 25.9, and the other one was 17.8. Quite honestly, when we had put the application together, we secured $43,000 based upon discussions from other engineering firms in the Albany area, that would be an expected price. So this came in a lot lower than we thought, and the 17 really raised a lot of red flags with us, and after looking at it, we just don't feel that we would get the product that we were looking for.
Thank you. You have a question?
Wayne, I'm just wondering, are there any additional payables for 2018 that haven't gone in yet?
I believe this should do it.
Okay.
Correct. The problem with that is we have to do our reimbursements, but until we expend the time, we don't know what those reimbursements are, and
Okay.
that's why we're
Okay.
hitting the 2018 budget.
So then we'll have plenty of funding for this.
Yes. Yeah, this is yeah. This is not a grant, a community development CD 75 account for this.
Very good. So have we voted on this one yet? We're
I don't know.
Okay. We have not. No. Can we get a motion to, okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
The, moving down to the next item, we apologize to the committee. I have not done anything with this. I have not invited, I'm sorry, go ahead. Claudia, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, if you had not been able to procure anyone to come speak on the Raggertail thing, that Travis could maybe speak to it, but I think he left.
Is there a public meeting at the Queensbury Hotel?
There is a public meeting on Tuesday at 6 at the Queensbury Hotel, and I do know that not in addition to the BN Communications representatives, there will also be people from Lehigh who can speak directly to the process. And I also know that there is a list of questions that are being circulated by interested people in the public, as well as the Glens Falls Sustainability Committee, that have been advanced to Lehigh, so that they can incorporate those questions into their presentation.
Okay.
I think it is a very, I think it's something that we should be paying attention to.
Absolutely.
It does impact our residents and our businesses, and it would be great to have Lehigh provide some more information at the public meeting on Tuesday.
Okay, well, why don't we just kind of see how the public meeting goes on Tuesday, and if we think there is some additional clarification that may be necessary. I don't know what the time frame is as it relates to the calendar for the extension of the public hearing. What's the deadline?
DEC extended the public comment period. I don't remember the date. Do you know? It's February.
It's in, I think, part February.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I guess we would encourage everyone to come to the Queensbury at 6 o'clock next Tuesday evening. So, great. The demonstration of Remarkable Trees app.
In the interest of time and getting the committee schedule back on track, we can defer that to next month.
Thank you. Thank you, Wayne. I appreciate that. Is there any other items from anyone on the committee or from the floor? Hearing none, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Ed still.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ed. Go ahead. I tried, Ed, but
I'll try and save some time for Ed, you know.
You have the county administrator counting down my time here. So there's my title page. I do have paper copies on the Finch paper, I might add. And basically, in here, I've highlighted, I'm not going to go through this, just indicating the job unemployment rate continues to hover low. That's not the full story. What we're asking for is to try to see if we can get a breakdown on the increase in employment for skilled and unskilled labor forces as well. And in our conversations with DOL, they really don't provide it in that context. They provide it in context of the business sector, that it is in this area of unemployment, and the increase that has come has resulted in the area of tourism, and obviously the summer and fall would expect that to go up. There was an increase in retail, again, I think projected on the projection of sales during the fall and winter in this area, as well as in some financial service area and in the healthcare area as well. And that's generally the trend throughout the country of the increases. Right now, the employment rate is at the lowest it has been in over 25 years in our area. In the nation, it's the lowest in 39 years, the unemployment rate. Nationally, that unemployment rate may be a little bit skewed due to the fact that, and particularly in urban areas, many individuals are not in the system any longer. They just decided not to. They've got parked out of the system. So in your urban areas, you're still going to find, particularly among the minorities, young minorities, a very high rate of employment. So it's kind of skewed, those particular factors. As you can see, the job report itself, going back a considerable number of years, where we are here in our particular region at this point. Just again, we had a number of significant CFA awards. I just kind of categorized them in areas. Particularly one of the highlights of this area with Warren County was the number of environmental related grants that were awarded in our particular area through a combination of municipalities, some consortiums that Matt Simpson had worked and still worked with the School area. Obviously, one of the major areas that was not awarded any funds is in the area of monies for Lake George. And the mayor testified the other day in Albany. Myself and Eric Sly from the Fund for Lake George testifying on February the 12th in Albany and urging additional funding for Lake George, not only from an environmental point of view that Eric will address, but also from an economic development point of view of the impact of Lake George for our region, which is very important. And I think that we all collectively rank that as very high priority going into 2019. We continue to promote various properties in Warren County, from the Fine Industrial Park to the north. That's going to be getting a little expansion through Etain and Peckham. That'll be doing some expansion up there very shortly. Have they finished all their approvals yet, Craig, on that?
They've made it through the Chester planning,
Okay.
so yeah, they're on the way to do it.
And other pieces of property. And again, a number of properties besides vacant pieces of property that we are working with is the various owners of these properties that I'm going through and showing here, as well as other properties that are looking for development. We continue to focus this year, 2019, on the opportunity zones, both in the town of Johnsburg and specifically North Creek, as well as the west side of Glens Falls. The Pathway Corridor is completed. Our public information meetings and reports and recommendations will be forthcoming. That's the easy part. Part two is the funding, where we're going to get all of these monies. These are our suggested improvements from that Pathway Corridor. There's our goals and objectives. We have a breakfast coming up a week from yesterday. Ken Enneman, who is a economic investment forecaster from NBT Bank, does an excellent job and will be giving an overview globally as well as statewide in this region. And Heather Bruschetti, the president of Business Council, will give a perspective on certainly the expectations going forward. As you read in the paper, you can see how fast the new Senate majority is working on a number of projects. So it's important that we're trying to monitor some of these things that will have a direct effect on Warren County in the area. And those are our sponsors. That's our mission and our momentum that we are building for 2019, and that's it.
That was
Just about, 6 minutes instead of 5.
I think that's a record, Ed. Thank you. Can we get any further comments? Everyone okay? Can we get a motion to adjourn, please? Supervisor Simpson, second by
I
Supervisor
think we
Wise. In favor?
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.